Do you have a minute? Because we've had some ideas about Final Fantasy Union and we'd love to share them with you and explain, well, why we're even making these videos in the first place. Because truth be told, we need your help. Since Lauren and I decided to embark on this adventure 3 years ago, we've never stopped writing, never stopped editing, and never stopped releasing countless videos. It's seen us dive into a whole host of games within this rather expansive franchise as we look to create an archive of high quality content for everyone to enjoy. Somehow we've managed to do all of this essentially in our spare time, but we've been thinking, what if we could do more? What if this was just the start of what Final Fantasy Union could ultimately become? 3 years ago, we started this channel fueled by raw passion for the franchise. We didn't quite know what we wanted to create, we just knew we wanted to create something that really reflected our interests, just as we have been doing for years via our podcast and website. But as we grew into the channel, it became clear to us why we loved doing what we do. Yet we never shared that vision with any of you, even though it's pretty simple. We believe video games are a wonderful and expressive art form that contains so much depth and meaning, and we're driven by a desire to interpret and explore this art form in new ways. It's why we scour through internet archives, conduct data analysis pieces, attempt to worm our way into speaking with the creators, and even study the game scripts. It helps us to connect the dots and identify unique angles that we've never seen being discussed anywhere else, all so that we can tell new stories. We believe Final Fantasy is the perfect subject for this, as it's a franchise with a rich history of creativity and innovation, and it gives our thirst for knowledge and the subsequent desire to share this knowledge a place to really flourish. And as we sit here now with over 100,000 subscribers, it's clear that you've appreciated our efforts and believe in what we do. Today though, we want to pitch a new mission, and this is for those who have been here since the very start and all of you who have joined us along the way. We're calling it Final Fantasy Union 2. It's a vision for the future of this channel which, with your help, will allow us to explore a wider array of topics, feature even more games, and produce better looking videos. So where do you come in? Why do we need your help? Well, everything we've done so far has been worked around our full-time jobs, but it's something that we want to change, and going down that road, it's actually really scary. Ever since the birth of our first child, Lauren chose not to go back to her job and has been working as a freelance graphic designer. But given how well everything has been going, she's decided to take the leap and focus on Final Fantasy Union full-time from this day forward. But that's where we get really awkward, because we just don't like asking people to help fund our work. It's something we really struggle with, and it's why outside of a small focus at the end of some of our videos, we've never done any kind of specific crowdfunding drive. Today though, as we're talking about what this channel means to us and what we're working towards, we want to be as sincere as we can and ask for your help. If you care about high quality Final Fantasy content and you'd like to see more of that from us, then please consider supporting us at patreon.com/ffunion. As a patron, you will gain access to The Other Side, a podcast where we take a retrospective look at our recent videos. You will receive a Patreon exclusive enamel pin and unique art prints that will be created in tandem with our Character Origins video series. You can get a custom video made about a topic of your choosing, and of course, on top of regular updates about what we're working on, there's access to our amazing Discord server where we have a unique channel just for Patreon supporters. But I know what you're thinking. Outside of giving Lauren the stability she needs to be able to focus on the channel full time, what could we do tomorrow with this extra funding that we can't do today? So here are 4 exciting goals for Final Fantasy Unions next year, and 4 reasons why you should consider throwing us a couple of bucks a month. You've asked us numerous times to create more videos around the formation of the franchise, with a specific focus on the older games. And we've wanted to do this too, so why haven't we done them yet? Well, the answer is pretty simple. They take a lot more time. To make sure we stick to a pretty decent release schedule, we often prioritize videos around the more recent games as they require us to spend less time researching information and less time collating the footage we need. With more funding, we wouldn't have to be so concerned about producing content so quickly in order to sustain ourselves, and it would mean that we can spend more time creating content focused around older and perhaps lesser known games within the franchise. We've loads of ideas brewing in this regard, and there's also been a few that you've asked us to do, and with more funding, we'll be able to bring these ideas to life without having to compromise on quality. An example of this would be retrospectives, where we'll take a look at how games came about and their wider lasting impact on the franchise. One of the other things we'd like to invest in as soon as we can is deeper exploration into the various topics we cover. You've also asked us to be more inclusive and even more exhaustive with our coverage, especially as there are so many of you who play the MMOs and have an interest in the various spin-offs and mobile games that exist. We've taken this approach a handful of times, such as Yuna's origins and the evolution of the Four Fiends, but each time it represents a massive risk for us given our current level of funding, because there's always a chance the projects just won't pan out. To try and mitigate this, we often end up condensing topics down, and it also means we have to be mindful of which topics we choose. But with more funding, we will be able to commit with more confidence to producing this kind of long-form video on a more regular basis almost immediately. This one is pretty easy, as soon enough we are going to need to buy some new equipment and upgrade our software if we want to keep on progressing. Thanks to your help, we were recently able to upgrade our microphones from the ones we have been using for about 5 years, and that's made a world of difference in terms of the speed we can edit, but also the sound quality that we can provide. But we also want to invest in the software we use so that we can create higher quality content. Lauren has been using Sony Vegas for a long time now, but it has numerous stability issues and limited support. She'd like to switch over to using Premiere Pro, but it's a pretty daunting prospect due to both the financial commitment and also the change in systems. With more funding, we will be able to do things like attend training courses to help in this regard, and this would take the quality of our content up to the next level. We also want to purchase capture cards and the associated equipment so that we can start thinking about producing Let's Play content and venturing into the realm of live streaming. This will allow us to create content more regularly and allow us to create more of a connection with you guys, as like our normal content, it could be done with the objective of exploration and conversation more than anything else. As proud as we are of all the content we've produced, there are still so many more concepts to explore. We already have an expansive planning list of potential topics to dive into, but right now we have to be very selective about which ones we move ahead with, and there's always a chance that some of these topics may end up never being explored. Our mission is to grow Final Fantasy Union and to get the help to produce more content than we currently do. We want to create more interesting stories that we can share with you all, and we believe that with your help, Final Fantasy Union can become something much bigger than it is today. Over the next year, we're going to work incredibly hard to hit all of our objectives and grow the channel so that we can produce more of the content that you love. So please, if you've enjoyed our content over the past 3 years and you believe in Final Fantasy Union and the work that we do, support our work. Go to patreon.com/ffunion and pledge as much or as little as you possibly can. As mentioned, you'll get access to a host of exclusive perks, including our behind the scenes podcast back catalogue. Help us to grow, and we promise you'll start to see the results on this channel right away. That's patreon.com/ffunion. Help us to continue to preserve the legacy of the franchise that has done so much for us all.